Hello, this is Sandy from A Little Bit of Glitter. Today I'm making a Valentine's Day card with the new Valentine's Cupcake stamp set and the Hugs and Kisses or the XOXO border die from Pretty Pink Posh. I think the little cupcakes are just adorable. It was really hard to choose just 3 of them. I also liked using that border at the bottom of my card. I thought that just added a little bit different look to it. If you would like to be notified of future videos, go ahead and hit subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram at Sandy Cogdill or on my blog, alittlebitofglitter.com. Let's get started. I'm starting out with a piece of pink cardstock cut at 5x6. I like that size because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room when I get ready to cut out the front of my card, especially when I'm using something with straight angles like this particular stencil. So I'm using the layered Argyle stencil. For the first layer, I'm using Kitsch Flamingo Distress Oxide ink. I'm lining up the bottom right corner of the stencil with the bottom right corner of my paper. I like to use washi tape to hold my stencil in place. I have tons of washi tape that I will never use on cards, so I make use of it that way. The beauty of these layered stencils is that they are labeled A, B, and C. So if you follow that order, making sure to keep the labeled corner on the bottom right corner, your stenciling will be perfect. For the second and third layers, I'm going to use Picked Raspberry Distress Oxide ink. Once I'm done doing that, I'm going to lightly speckle my card with watered down ink. I really enjoy using stencils and ink. That way I get to choose what color I want and the pattern I want for my background. I think that really helps in making your card your own original piece. I've cut my card base to 5.5 by 7 3/4 inches. I'm going to score it at 3.5 inches. Using strong glue tape, I adhered one piece of acetate to the shorter side of the card. I glued the Hugs and Kisses border onto the acetate. Then I cut the paper that I inked to 3.5 by 5.5 and glued it above the acetate strip. Now it's time to start coloring. I have stamped the 3 cupcakes that I want to use on my card. I personally prefer using Express It blending card paper for my Copic coloring. I've used it for years and I found it to be the easiest to blend, at least for me. For the pinks, I am using RV02, RV04, and RV06. For the purples, I am using V01, V12, and V15. For the yellows, Y13, Y15, and Y17. For the reds, I'm using R29, R30, R32, and R35. Once I have these colored, I'm going to go ahead and run them through my die cutter. I usually add a little bit of glitter to my cards. For these cupcakes, I'm taking a glue pen and drawing on the glue where I want the glitter, and then I'm dipping or sprinkling micro prism glitter on each one and setting them aside. You could also use stickles if you have the time to wait for it to dry. I don't know about you, but I am like a 2-year-old with a bottle of stickles. Before you know it, the whole project is covered in glitter. I just can't seem to stay in control of the stickles. So I generally try to use this method. I seem to control myself just a little bit better. I used the new hot foil Be Mine script with the Be Mine shadow dies for the sentiment. I didn't have the right shade of yellow cardstock, so after I hot foiled my sentiment, I used squeezed lemonade to ink the paper. Inking over hot foiling works really well. You just have to make sure that once you're done inking that you kind of buff off the, the, the ink that's on top of the hot foil. But again, it gives your card just a little bit of originality. That way you can choose the colors. All right, it's time to start putting it all together. This is the fun part. I lined up my sentiment with the left side of the paper, and then I centered my 3 cupcakes underneath that, but above the little XO border. I just love the way this little card turned out. I really liked using the border with some acetate. I haven't done that in the past, but I do like the way that turned out. In fact, I'm going to make another card using that same border, but more in the middle of the card. So look out for that particular video. That should be posted in the next day or so. I also like that this card isn't the traditional red and pink or the red and white or the red and black. So this one's just kind of a fun card for me. Thank you for watching. If you would like to be notified of future videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram at Sandy Cogdo or on my blog, alittlebitofglitter.com. I hope you have a great day, and bye-bye.